everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little different from what I usually do. I'm going to do a whole page review / reaction to the book We Were Liars by Lockhart. About a week ago, I saw a reaction video on TikTok, and the girl looked so affected by this book. She said she started reading it because Book Talk said it would leave you emotionally destroyed at the end. Her caption for the video was even, "No words, just tears." Now, I'm a skeptic, and I thought she was being dramatic, so I searched it up and look at this. It's reaction video after reaction video after reaction video. So now I'm intrigued. I looked it up on Goodreads, and this was the end of the synopsis. We Were Liars is a modern, sophisticated suspense novel from New York Times bestselling author, National Book Award finalist, and Prince Award honoree E. Lockhart. Read it, and if anyone asks you how it ends, just lie. Naturally, I bought it. I have not looked up a synopsis or done anything besides read the back of the book, so I'm going into this completely blind. I'm actually really excited to read this, and I really hope that I'm not overhyping this up. Even if I am, I think this will be a fun journey. This video is going to be a little tricky because I don't want to take the mystery away from the book by telling you what happens. So I'll try my best to make it as vague as possible while still giving my true reactions. I'm going to start this book, and I'll be back when I'm about halfway through. It's a while later, and I've read about 100 pages, which is parts 1, 2, and the beginning of 3. I just have to say that this is so good. The writing is absolutely phenomenal. The author has some amazing metaphors that makes me question if everything has a double meaning. Since I'm coming into this without any expectations beyond loosely what genre this is, I'm constantly questioning things. Like, is this a red herring, or am I being paranoid? Does this character interaction have a deeper meaning? This book sets you up to think the book can go down like 6 different paths. At this point, 100 pages in, it's impossible to guess what's going to happen in the next part, let alone how it's going to end. I have a guess, but I can't really support it, so I'm only like 20% confident. Even though I'm only 100 pages in, I can definitely see what the hype is, and I haven't even gotten to the hard parts yet. This book. So I just finished it, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do a face video like this, but I'm heartbroken. My heart hurts. The pit of my stomach hurts. I feel like I'm being really dramatic about this, but this book is exactly what they say it is. It is emotionally devastating. This book. Oh boy, this book. So I highly recommend, if you're gonna read this book, go into it completely blind. Don't look up synopsises, don't look up spoilers, don't even read the little blurb on Goodreads. Just read it completely blind, and that is how it's gonna take your heart out and rip it up. Again, being dramatic, but wow, this book made me feel a lot. So if you haven't already read it, I don't suggest watching the rest of this video because I'm going to be giving a little bit of a synopsis of it. I'm not going to give any spoilers because that's going to ruin the fun. The only things I'm going to tell about this book, I believe, is a fair synopsis. If I give any spoilers, I really am sorry about that. These are really just my first impressions. I've never made a sit-down video like this before, and so I'm kind of nervous and sitting in front of the window and there's people walking around outside and it's really distracting, so I'm sorry, but I'm trying. This is the last warning. I'm about to go into a synopsis of the book, and if you don't want the synopsis, click off now. Okay, so this book is about a girl, Cadence, who is born into a rich family, and like so rich that the grandfather owns his own island, and he has 3 daughters, and the daughters are, I believe their names are Penny, Bess, and Carrie. They're not really main characters, so me not remembering their names isn't really that big of a deal. Katie, the main character, calls them the aunties. I'm pretty sure that's how you say her name. Her name is Cadence, and they shorten it to Katie, C-A-D-Y. I can't imagine how else that would be pronounced besides Katie. Anyways, every summer the family goes to the island, and they spend the summers there with, you know, the grandfather, the grandmother, the aunties, and then there's 4 kids around the same age. There's Katie, Johnny, Marin, and Gat. They're all the same age. Gat is the only one who's not blood related to them because he is one of the aunt's boyfriend's nephew, and he kind of just takes care of him. So he comes over the summers with them, and yeah, it's just really nice. He's kind of othered because, so this family is a rich white family, and Gat is not rich and he is not white, and so he is othered in a very low-key, not very subtle way. The story mostly takes place on the island. So when the 4 cousins, they call themselves the Liars, when the 4 Liars are 15, something happens on the island. It's not really talked about because the aunts live in this kind of fantasy world where everything is okay, and so they don't talk about things that are devastating. They don't talk about things that could hurt their feelings, so they don't. And something happens, and Katie ends up in the hospital, and she has no idea what happened, complete amnesia. And then we kind of fast forward 2 years where we see Katie kind of coping with her accident. That's what she knows it as. It's her accident. And she gets migraines because she was told she has a head injury. So she gets migraines from that, and she's not acting the same way she was before because she's sick. By not acting the same way, I mean she's giving her things away, and she's very closed off, and yeah. And so she spent a couple summers away from the island and away from her family and everything because the doctors told her that she needs time to cope and she needs time to heal with her accident and get better. So when she's 17, she convinces her mom she needs to go back to the island, and her mom finally agrees, but not for the whole summer, just for half the summer. And then the other half of the summer she's gonna spend with her dad because her parents are divorced. And Katie spends the whole summer trying to remember what happened summer 15 with her accident because her aunts won't talk about it, cousins won't talk about it, and she's just trying to figure out what happened. And I'm not going to tell you what happened because that's going to ruin it, and that's like the whole point of this book. And like, if I wasn't on camera, I swear I would have cried, but it's really good, and I'm not going to ruin that. The end of the book is just her figuring out what happened that summer of 15. And that is what's emotionally draining, I will give you that. That's what is devastating, and that is what is going to break your heart. So be prepared for that. Like, honestly, if you're reading and you're just casually reading, because I was just casually reading it. I was reading like 10 pages here, 10 pages there, 30 pages here, whatever. And then I knew, I got to part 4. There's 5 parts in the book. So I got to part 4 and I had 80 pages left, and I knew this is when the plot was going to pick up. And so that's when I sat down and I was just going to read the rest of the book. I knew that's what was going to happen. This book broke my heart, bro. Like, I feel like I'm still like just thinking about it, and I'm going to think about it for a long time. I definitely think I need to reread this book because it's written so well. The whole time reading this book, I've been trying to figure it out. Like, as you can see, I have all these different sticky notes, and they all have different meanings, like they're different color coding, I guess. So the yellow are just fantastic metaphors, fantastic word games. I don't know. The author is really good, and she does a lot of extended metaphors, and she does a lot of literary devices that I think are just phenomenal. And then the green are what I think are hints, but now that I'm looking back on it, I might be wrong. Those might be red herrings. So what I think are hints, I'm gonna have to go back and see. Those are actual hints. The blue is when I think somebody's acting shady, and then the pink is when I think Katie's mom is acting like a horrible person, because Katie's mother, that's a whole nother discussion with Katie's mother. I don't think she was the greatest, and I think there was times where she was actually awful. But now that I know what happened, I'm not quite sure I still believe that. So that's another thing on a reread I'm gonna have to revisit. My orange tags are moments I thought that were really sweet. So just kind of like wholesome moments that I enjoyed reading, and I thought they were sweet. I definitely think I need to read this book again. I think it's worth the hype, and I think there's a lot of red herrings in there. I didn't see the end coming. I thought I knew what was gonna happen, and I was completely wrong. And then I thought I knew it was gonna happen again, and then I was completely wrong again. And as a person who reads over 100 books a year, I feel like I've read enough books where I can accurately predict the ending of a lot of books. And so to have no idea how this book was gonna end, that was amazing. This book was really good. But I highly, highly, highly recommend reading this book without... I'm realizing I'm saying this after I just gave a synopsis, sort of, but without giving away the ending. But I really, really, really think you should read this book, and I think you should read this book without having any kind of expectations to it, and it's amazing, and I'm gonna read it again. 5 stars. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's where I'm gonna end this video. That was my feelings, true feelings. Just finished this book like literally 10 minutes ago. First impressions of this book. I thought it was amazing. I suggest you read it. If you know me, you want to borrow a copy, I have it, you got it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.